So what would happen here? If it's going up by 2, that's the square root, right? What is the square root of 7/10? That's 7/10 raised to the half power. Find that in the calculator. It's important. So 7/10. 0.21. Everybody get that?
Yeah, 2.21.
Okay. 2.21
Yes. Yes. That's what I said.
Yeah.
of 7/10.
Yeah.
So it is, yeah. 2.21.
2.21 times 2.21 is going to be 4 point something. That can't be 0.7.
7 divided by 10 is
You have 7 divided by 10 parentheses.
That's 0.7.
All right. So you should have the square, if you have the square root of parentheses 7 divided by 10, or the square root of 0.7. 0.7 raised to the 0.5 power would also work.
Yes, 0.83.
Okay, got that? Okay, you see what you did wrong? Okay, now it's important, the reason that I did that, it's important that you can trust your calculator. But the calculator is really stupid. It does not understand what we're doing at all, so if we don't punch the right numbers in, the calculator is going to lie. Calculators are not very smart. Okay? All right, now. Okay, so now let's turn the page. All right, so let's look at problem 13. Okay, what's happening to the x? If it's going from 100 or from 400 to 500, how much is it increasing? So therefore we're changing 100x, right? And what's the value of the multiplier? You're going to take the second number divided by the first number. So it's going to be 1.3331 divided by 1.2, whatever it is. 1.21. Everybody see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is that quotient? What is it?
1.1.
1.1. So the multiplier is 1.1. Now, I need the 100th root. So I want 1.1 raised to the 1 divided by the 100th power. That would be the 100th root. 1.1.
Raised to 1 what?
1.000.
Okay. 1 point, say it again.
001.
Okay, so that's the value of b. So I know that I have this raised to the x power. That's the base. Now, there's some number here that I also have to find. This actually works out pretty good. What happens if I go down by 100? What am I going to do? I'm going to take the 1.21 and I'm going to divide it by 1.1. That'll take me from 400 to 300. If I do it again, take me from 300 to 200. If I do it again, 200 to 100. If I do it again, it will take me from 100 to 0. And whatever that value is to the 0 power will be 1 times the n. So I'll be able to find the n in this one pretty quickly. All right, so let's take the 1.21. All right, and that's 400, right? That's f of x, that's f of 400. If I divide it by 1.1, I'll have 300, because these are 100 apart. So in your calculator, take 1.21 divided by 1.1. All right, now, that's at 300. To get to 200, I divide by 1.1 again. Take that answer divided by 1.1. Okay? I take that answer and divide it by 1.1. Okay, good. And then I take that answer and divide it by 1.1 again. 0.82644. Okay? Now, so what that says is when x is 0, the value is 1 times n, and so that's the value of n. So my equation then is 0.82644 x, whoops, sorry, 1.001 to the x power. Okay, now let's check it. Take that number, this, and raise it to the 400th power. Your calculator should be able to handle that. What'd you get?
Raise to the 400th power. 7.6653 negative 34.
Oh, it should have been 1.21.
We're doing 1.001 raised to the 400? Is that what it is?
I'm gonna put it wrong then.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry. It's not, it's 1.1.
Or 1.1?
It's 1.1 here. I copied the wrong number.
3.6064.
It's supposed to be 121.
Definitely did not get
No.
All right.
We're at 3.6.
Let's try that one more time here. All right, this is 121 divided by 1.1. That takes it from 4 to 3. Divided by 1.1, that takes it to 2. Divided by 1.1 takes it to 1. Divided by 1.1 is 82644. Oh, weird. Okay. Well, you don't need that for this problem, but I was hoping that we actually would have got to it. Okay, now. Why isn't that working? Is it up yet? There it goes. Okay. Okay, so sorry for that confusion. Right? The first part of it works. I didn't understand the second part, and I tried to do it on the fly and crashed the boat. Okay, so let's go back to what we've done this day. Okay, first of all, if you have the log of a product, what do you do with the exponent values? You add them. And the log of the answer is the exponent, right, to whatever that base is. Okay, so that's the first thing. And then the example that we did was log of 10 is the same as 2 times 5, so it'll be log of 2 plus log of 5. What's another one you could have done to make a 10? Any two numbers are multiplied together.
30 and 3.
So, well, 30 divided by 3,
That's what I meant.
which would be this one.
Yeah.
Right? So two numbers multiplied together, I could do 0.5 times 20, right?
Oh. Yeah.
See? So I could have made this a log of 0.5 and a log of 20, and that would have also given me the value of 1 because that's what the log of 10 is.
Right.
Right, so you get to choose how to break that down. Right now, the easiest one to do is if there's a base here, if you can get this number to be the same as the base, then you know that that value is 1.
Right.
Okay? All right, so quotients, you divide. Power of power, what happens? This number comes out here. Right? So this becomes 3 log of 2, because what is this number? This is 8, right? Which is 2 times 2 times 2. So I'm going to add the log of 2 plus the log of 2 plus the log of 2, and the faster way to do that is 3 times it.
That's right. Gotcha.
Okay? And then log of other bases, this is the important one. If you have log 4 and a number here, we can change it into base 10 by saying log of 16 divided by log 4. If you have Right. Whenever this and this are the same value, they cancel out to a 1, and so this becomes 3.
Yeah.
Right? And there were several problems where that makes sense. Now, the interesting part is if you get to multiply, if it's an equation, if you have this, I don't want to use that one because it doesn't erase. Let's say that you have 2 to the 15th power equals x. All right, how do I get rid of that 2? I multiply both sides by log base 2.
Oh, that makes sense.
Now these cancel, and I get 15 equal log base 2 of x. So this is the exponent, so 2 to the 15th power is x.
Oh, that's so smart.
Okay? All right, now, that's the reason that I'm trying to get you to see this, is that when you start getting into equations, if you want to get rid of the base, take the log of that same base number times this, they cancel out and you get to the 15. If that's an x, then that's really quick. You need to do that. But even if it's not, sometimes that's how you get there. And then the last thing that the book says is that the log base 3 of 3 is the same as 3 log of 3. And they both equal 1. All right, the last 2 problems in the textbook change these 2 things around. Okay, now, that's been a lot of material. This week is going to be, you're going to need to get some extra time.
Right.
Because, I took about 3.5 hours yesterday going back over that. No, but I did all 3 chapters, so if you're not looking at 4 hours to do the work, leaving yourself planning 4 hours for those 3 chapters, you're going to be really impressed. Okay? All right, good day.
Thank you.